Since the dawn of time, mankind has always pondered and questioned their own existence and the world around them. What defines them? What gives them purpose in life? Where do their origins lie? For eons we tried to make sense of the chaos that encompassed our world through the fables and stories spread across the globe, speaking about gods, monsters, rituals and curses that give our life and aspirations substance and reason. But mankind has slowly begun to abandon these tales, dismissing what is essential to our history and culture, deeming it mere myth and lies, when they are so much more. I am the Archon, and here, my fateful traveller, I shall enlighten you with the knowledge and verses that once flooded the human mind, and return you to a time of myth and legends. For many girls across the globe, getting ear piercings is a dream come true, a rite of passage showing their slow transition of maturity from a child into an adult. But sometimes we wish to obtain something so badly, we hastily ignore the warnings and advice given to us by others and choose the easy but more dangerous route to gaining what we want. And for our story today, I take you to Japan in the 1980s, where a young girl learns just how great the consequences are when taking shortcuts to get what she desires. In the 1980s, there was a young Japanese schoolgirl just out of middle school and moving on to high school. The girl desperately wanted to get her ears pierced. Her parents, however, thought she was too young to do so. The girl was determined and continued to plead with them, saying that all the other girls in her class had pierced ears. The girl spent weeks begging and hassling her parents to get the piercings until finally, having enough, gave in to her begging and allowed her to get her ears pierced. They gave her some money and told her to go to the local mall and get her ears pierced at the jewelry store, but the girl gave in to her greed and pocketed the money, thinking that she could easily pierce her ears herself and that it would have been a waste of money to get someone else to do it for her. She called her best friend over to her house so she could have some help. Once the friend arrived, they started the procedure. They got a large needle, heated it, and stuck it through both of the girl's earlobes. It was quite painful, but in the end, her ears were pierced. She was overjoyed to finally be able to wear earrings. It was as if her plan worked perfectly, and the girl pridefully would show off the earrings to her fellow classmates and students. However, a few days later, the girl was in school when she began to feel a jabbing pain in her left ear and started to scratch where it hurt. The girl's earlobe was extremely itchy and continued to irritate her throughout the school day regardless of how much she scratched it. During break time, she rushed to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. One of her earlobes was red and inflamed, and she wondered what was wrong with her to make it like that. When she looked closer at her ear, she noticed something strange. She saw what looked like a piece of white string sticking out of the hole in her earlobe. Not thinking clearly, she started to pick and pull at the string in confusion. After a few minutes of messing around with it, the white string was now longer and still hung out of her earlobe. The string seemed endless, and the more she pulled at it, the longer it got. Fed up with the string, she pulled a pair of scissors out of her backpack. She knew this was odd, But she also knew that if she left the bathroom with a white string dangling from her ear, it would definitely be embarrassing for her. She held the scissors up to the string and cut it. Suddenly, everything went black. She couldn't see anything, and there was a burning pain in her ear and eyes. Panicked, she began to scream and shout until students came in the bathroom. She was rushed to an emergency room of a local hospital, where a doctor examined her. When she told the doctor about the white string and what happened, a shocked expression appeared on the doctor's face. "I'm sorry, but you'll be blind for the rest of your life. That wasn't a white string you cut. That was your optic nerve." The story is now over, but what did we learn from it? What lesson did it teach us all? The more obvious message of this tale is that simply because it is the easier path does not always make it the right one. Just because the path that we choose might not have the most cost does not mean that it is ultimately the one that will benefit us the most. Sometimes there must be sacrifice, and sometimes one has to pay the price in order to gain what they want. Because the girl chose to pocket her money and pierce her ears herself rather than allow a professional to do it, she suffered greatly for it, losing her sight, damaging and mutilating her body permanently. This was the price that she paid for her greed and her hubris. We have come to the end of your time here, traveller, and it is now time for you to return to your world. But do not be sad upon your departure, for this is not the end of your journey. Soon another tale or legend shall appear in your path, and I will be there every step of the way to guide you, to teach you what mankind has forgotten. Thank you for coming, and I will see you again in the next program.